I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. 4 contenders have been preparing for their black chair ordeal and tonight they will be put to the test. They will have 2 minutes on their chosen specialist subject, 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. There's no money at stake, of course, but tonight's winner will take a step closer to winning the glass bowl and, more importantly, much more importantly, becoming the nation's mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
David Coleman.
Your occupation?
I'm a telecoms manager.
And your chosen subject?
Is Burgess and Maclean.
Burgess and Maclean, the spies, in 2 minutes starting now. What was the name of the Foreign Secretary who made a statement at the House of Commons on the 11th of June 1951 about the disappearance of Burgess and Maclean?
Macmillan.
Morrison. To which secret group of students did Burgess belong as an undergraduate? It also goes by the name the Society or Cambridge Conversazioni Society.
The Apostles.
Correct. To which city did the Foreign Office post Maclean in the late 1930s? It was here he met his future wife.
Cairo.
Paris. What was the name of the ship Burgess and Maclean boarded at Southampton for St Malo at midnight on the 20th of May 1951?
The Ferrari.
The Falaise. In her statement to Parliament in November 1979, whom did Margaret Thatcher reveal as the man who contacted KGB handlers to make the arrangements for Maclean's escape to Moscow?
Anthony Blunt.
Yes. Which MP and future chairman of the Labour Party published a 1956 biography entitled Guy Burgess, A Portrait with Background?
Goronwy Rees.
Tom Dryburgh. What code letter identified the Secret Intelligence Service section that Burgess was assigned to in late 1938?
B.
D. After an initial spell as First Secretary in Washington, Maclean was promoted in 1946 to acting head of which important branch in the British Embassy there?
He's a counsellor.
In the Chancery Department. The mother of one of Burgess's former Cambridge friends employed him to advise on her investments. Who was she?
Lady Rothschild.
Yes. When he joined the staff of Britain's embassy in Washington, Burgess stayed at which colleague's family home in Nebraska Avenue?
Pass. What
code name did the security services use when referring to the mole in Britain's Foreign Office with suspicion eventually falling on Maclean?
Peters.
Homer. The Labour minister Hector McNeill told Burgess to hide his homosexuality in Washington and avoid talk of race relations and politics. How did Burgess summarise this advice?
Don't do anything.
No, I shouldn't make a pass at Paul Robeson. What was the name of Maclean's wife? She followed him to Moscow but later had an affair with Kim Philby.
Melinda.
Yes. To which city was Maclean posted as the Foreign Office's counsellor and head of Chancery in 1948?
Cairo.
Cairo is correct. You had one pass. When he joined the staff in Washington, Burgess stayed with Kim Philby, who was, of course, himself a spy. One pass, David Coleman, 5 points.
Okay.
So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 5 points, David Coleman. 3rd place, 9 points, Jonathan Evans. 2nd place, 10 points, Darrell Hewison. Way out in front at the moment with 14 points, Kate Morris. But I say at the moment because we now have our general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes is taken into account, and whoever has the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, well, then there's a tie break. And they now have to face their 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. So let's get on with it and ask David Coleman to join us again, please. And you have 5 points with your knowledge of Burgess and Maclean. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. Here we go, 2.5 minutes. Who has been the lead singer of the Rolling Stones since the group formed in the early 60s?
Mick Jagger.
Yes, lying mainly in Wyoming, which park became the world's first national park in 1872?
Yosemite.
Yellowstone. In European history, what name meaning rebirth is given to the period following the Middle Ages that saw an upsurge in interest in the arts and classical learning?
Renaissance.
Yes, which of Shakespeare's kings dies from grief after the hanging of his youngest daughter, Cordelia?
Lear.
Yes, which Oscar-winning film starring Russell Crowe is based on the real-life story of the mathematician John Nash?
Pass.
Shuttlecock is the most notorious of the 10 corners on which Swiss toboggan run?
The Crest Run?
Yes, elected to office in 1908, who was the last British Prime Minister to head a purely Liberal cabinet?
Asquith?
Yes. Which artist's installation Exposure was exported from Scotland to Lelystad in the Netherlands in 2010?
Damien Hirst.
Anthony Gormley. What warning system was famously used to convey the news of the approach of the Spanish Armada in 1588?
The Beacons.
Yes. Killing Floor is the first book by Lee Child to feature which detective?
Pass.
Which Greek island was the centre of the Minoan civilization and contains the Palace of Knossos?
Crete.
Yes. What type of cloud with a flat bottom and a white puffy appearance has a name that means heap or pile in Latin?
Sirius.
Cumulus. Which area of London was known as Battle Bridge until a statue of George IV was erected in the 1830s at the junction of Euston Road, York Way and Gray's Inn Road?
Whitechapel.
King's Cross. The words schlock, schmaltz and schmooze come from which language?
Jewish.
Yiddish. What rhyming term is often used to describe Anglo-Catholic services? It refers to the use of ritual and incense in worship.
Pass.
In The Simpsons, which neighbouring town is Springfield's bitter rival?
Pass.
The term spats is particularly applied to the young of which edible shellfish?
Oysters.
Yes. In A Christmas Carol, what's the name of Scrooge's partner who appears as a ghost to show him visions of Christmas past, present and yet to come?
Gnarly.
Yes. The night-scented is a variety of which garden plant? It has flowers ranging from pink to purple that open in the evening.
Stock.
Yes. According to legend, the ancient Greek philosopher Empedocles threw himself into which active volcano?
Etna.
Yes. What's the capital city of the former Soviet Republic of Lithuania?
Pass.
In which Welsh castle did the investiture of the Prince of Wales take place in July 1969?
Carnarvon.
Correct. Which Czech athlete broke the 10,000 metres world record 5 times between 1949 and 54?
Zatopek.
Is correct. You had 5 passes. Vilnius is the capital city of Lithuania. Shelbyville is the mortal enemy of Springfield. Bells and smells is how they describe some Anglo-Catholic services. Jack Reacher is the detective in Killing Floor, and the Russell Crowe film based on John Nash's life, A Beautiful Mind. You have now, David Coleman, 18 points. So there it is. Let's have a look at the scores. In joint third place, 18 points apiece, David Coleman and Darrell Hewison. Second place, 19 points, Jonathan Evans. In first place, way in the lead with 24 points, Kate Morris.